Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
Present.
Barbara Hebert. Here. Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
Jim Coffey.
Here.
And Catherine Calucci. Present.
Resolution 182, accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of June 20th and June 27th be accepted and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, Isabella. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes. Is there anyone seeking to provide regular public comment not associated with the resolution? None. Clarifying that. Resolution 183, the abstract.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 8B-24 for $498,441.08. Abstract 8B-24 prepays for the amount of $1,127,138.76 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 184, permanent appointment of Richard Rasco as building maintenance supervisor.
Whereas the New York State Civil Service Commission approved the title of Building Maintenance Supervisor to be included in the non-competitive class under the New York Local Health Program with an effective date of July 26th of 2024, and whereas current provisional and or future employees holding the title classified as Building Maintenance Supervisor may be appointed permanent non-competitive through this program, and whereas the conclusion of the New York Local Health Program, all program appointees will automatically gain competitive status without having to test. And whereas Richard Rasco, Provisional Building Maintenance Supervisor, is eligible for a permanent non-competitive appointment through the health program, now therefore be it resolved that Mr. Rasco's appointment as Building Maintenance Supervisor for the Buildings and Grounds Department be made permanent, and a copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager, a copy to Civil Service, and a copy be placed in his personnel file.
Is there a motion? Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Barbara Hebert.
Yes.
Charles Costick.
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
And Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 186, service agreement between JAC Memorials and the town of Plattsburgh.
Did we skip one in?
There we go.
We can do the obsolete.
Mine's not in here. Right here. Resolution 185, disposal of obsolete equipment.
Whereas it has been determined that the equipment listed below is obsolete and no longer needed. There are 7 items for the water wastewater department as stated here. There are 14 items for the highway department as stated here. And there are 14 items for the buildings and grounds department as stated here. Whereas the equipment will be put out for bid through Auctions International for the proper disposal. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the sale of said equipment, and is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, the highway superintendent, the water wastewater director, and the superintendent of buildings and grounds.
Motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion?
I would just say thank you to everybody that took part in this, and if you have not had opportunity to go out and look in the pole barn or in the mezzanine areas, back in buildings and grounds, please take a look, because some of that stuff I think dated back to when Art was supervisor. It's cleaned up.
We've come a long way, now we're categorizing it all in one resolution.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Sorry about that one. Resolution 186, service agreement between JC Memorials and the town of Plattsburgh.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh has the Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum, in which engraving services for the granite crypts and niches is required, and whereas Jared Chombley with JC Memorials has the necessary equipment and liability insurance and has agreed to perform engraving services on behalf of the town, therefore be it resolved that after the town attorney's review, the supervisor be authorized to sign said agreement between Jared Chombley with JC Memorials and the town of Plattsburgh, which is the subject of the attached agreement.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries. Resolution 187, town of Plattsburgh to receive and file the Plan Development District PDD materials of ARKWL LLC.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board received a letter and accompanying exhibits as a formal request to establish a planned development district for ARKW LLC, property owner of tax map ID 205.3-2.1, and whereas said materials were received by the town clerk on August 6th of 2024, therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby accept said letter and accompanying exhibits to be placed on file. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the planning department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Nostick. At this time, I would invite our guests to provide some comments in the discussion period. And I just provide clarity again, this is to file the report, but we wanted to give them an opportunity to come talk about it. So,
Thank you for the opportunity. My name's Jim Abdella. I'm with AEBA, right up the road here in West Plattsburgh. I have Chris Wiley here as well, who is the owner and member of the corporation.
My wife and I, my wife is the member.
For the property. As indicated in the resolution, we did provide an application, seeker long form, a report that outlines a good portion and more formality of what's being proposed, as well as the sketch plan that you see in front of you here. The property would be located just to the west of the existing Harrigan's ice cream stand, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with.
where's that again?
Had to go along with it.
That's someone had, right?
And that property is to the west and to the south of that stand. Our office is across the road.
Does that include all the area in
It does.
red and,
So these colored areas indicate the different potential
Okay.
use areas that we've defined in our report. So the purple being commercial recreational use area, the red area where there's an actually existing barn structure, red that sits in the back, being the potential restaurant area. We have shown a potential driveway with parking, permanent parking, and then also some of the blue being stormwater amenities to comply with town standards. The green, potential for like septic system area for wastewater. Again, general sketch to give a intended potential layout of the land, to comply with that initial zoning PDD submission to you.
at present it's covered
And then,
by trees and
I'm sorry, what was that?
at present it's covered by foliage and trees?
Actually, this area is all Old Point at the moment.
The whole area that you're talking about?
This whole area, the parking area where the stormwater is, the green, this is all I would consider mowed lawn area. The tree line isn't until you get, back here, well beyond everything we've shown.
Which you can see on the other sketch there with the red line around the property.
Yes, you can actually, yep. So beyond there would be, until you get back to some right-of-way area, would be forested primarily. That would be the summary of what we presented today. My understanding is that this is the first step in accepting the application for the board and a referral to the planning board for their review in accordance with zoning and potential leading to a report back to you.
Yep. Ultimately, it will come to a time where the town will need to consider actions that will provide an opportunity to move this project forward or to basically say, no, thank you. But then there will be provisions, if it were to be approved like other projects, that it would still need to, go through site plan compliance and the planning board and the zoning, like all that other type of stuff. This is not something that happens on a regular basis, but there is an allowance through the town to do this. So they are beginning this journey. So wanted the board to be aware of the project, put it in the public domain, so that people understood what that process is. And they've been, Jess provided them a rough timeline of what it's like. You know, it's a little bit, so just wanted to keep you folks, you know, in the know. Any immediate questions?
What are the possible uses?
So ultimately, within the application, like within the commercial recreational entertainment zone, which would be this purple area, we've included outdoor games, cornhole, yard Jenga, etc., temporary children activities, bounce house, mini golf, bicycle trail and/or pump track, disc golf, recreation trail, and similar outdoor activities. So,
All in that one area?
well, that's one area that we have identified initially. You obviously have the remaining property, which could be like the bike trails, or some of the other outdoor amenity recreation.
And to be clear, Tom, just because those are some of the potential allowed uses doesn't mean that all of those would be on the property. It's a sample of the types of activities that would be allowed there.
With that said, I would like to present, we have discussed, you know, potential exclusions that you might see in like recreation, like we've actually put in our report, shooting sports. You know, you might consider that underneath that recreation potential. We've said we don't anticipate sports such as paintball, archery, skeet shooting, gun range. Pickleball was maybe something that was brought up administratively that might be neighborhood sensitive because of the noise, so we added that.
Pickleball's noisier than, come on.
There's a New York Times or what have you article, there's, in residential areas, some people have an extreme difficulty with the noise.
Depending where the look
You're on the
is.
hook for ping pong.
Well, that's for the barn, unless the horses are gonna be kept in there for riding, I don't know.
And then I do think that the ordinance already outlines this isn't allowed, but we also did include motorized vehicle racing, go-karts, dirt bikes, ATVs, that type of thing. We included it, I think the ordinance covers that. But we included it.
Can't use a go-kart there?
Some people might feel,
Yeah,
but, we did include a allowance for potential, you know, given the recreation of the space and the potential restaurant for like performing arts, you know, limited music, dance, or not limited music, dance, theatrical performances. You know, obviously, that is something that would surely fit in this, setting. You have a noise ordinance which we would comply with, you know, regulations accordingly. But it is something that would fit within this, what we're proposing on the property. In the restaurant, we anticipate repurposing the existing bar to accommodate sale of food and drink, including alcohol beverages, beer garden, that type of thing. With potential for other structured areas such as maybe a food truck, you know, allowance, depending on the type of atmosphere for that day. And, again, additional amenities associated with that, right, some picnic tables, that type of thing that we'll get into more detail with the site plan review with the planning. And then we tried to also think in the future, you know what I mean, that we also reserve some of the uses that potentially under PUDs would be allowed. The remaining underlying uses of the R2 zone, you know, if there is an opportunity for residential, and it fits, you know, having that opportunity still within the property. Public utility, this property in the far back of the property already has like the city's water main infrastructure through it. So we've tried to reserve that, you know, if there was potential for solar or something else that wasn't stopped by whatever it might be, wetlands or any other, that's still a potential use as long as we can meet site plan criteria. Retail sales, another thing that's within PDD, you know, again, you have a restaurant, you have a small little, you know, store that makes old Big Macs in it. We just wanna make sure to reserve that so that there's an opportunity to do it. We don't end up with a question about other than going through the standard site planning and building permit as necessary.
So this will be closed down in the winter then?
Correct. The tentative plans are to have it match the seasonality of the ice cream business.
So I'm going to suggest that we move forward with adopting this, because again, this is placing on file and sending it basically over to the planning department. A couple things just to put out there in the public domain as points of interest is there will be a public engagement process through this. We've already, shared, have conversations with your neighbors as an example, because they'll have an opportunity certainly through this process to weigh in. And right now, this is in the early parts of it, Tom, so just as an example that not, every facet of it is defined, and that's what the process is meant to do, is to kind of go through kind of a journey into this and get into it and get a report back.
So I shouldn't ask about access from the street, huh?
That's a little bit far from where we're at this very moment. But there's an understanding that they'll have to work with DOT, and stuff like that. So there's even if it goes through, that doesn't mean that there won't be elements that this project would have to work with, various agencies, et cetera, just like any other project. So we're at the largest opening of the aperture at the moment. So
Correct.
any other things that folks want to say?
Any other thoughts?
I don't have anything specific to add, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Any other questions in that spirit? Going once, going twice. All right.
I got one question.
Sure.
When you make this referral, is this referral to the next planning board meeting?
I'll have to talk to,
You mean like next
That's
week?
just next
I don't think so. I'll have to talk to Trevor about it.
It's Tuesday.
And he was out, today, so.
Tomorrow.
I wasn't sure if a referral is truly just a referral, or it's actually a referral within the application.
Yeah, it's really kind of a referral within the application to do some stuff, so we'll have to connect afterwards.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just don't want to
Thank
misspeak and give you the wrong guidance on it.
No,
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. Moving on to resolution 188, appointment of Sarah Kay to the planning board.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board for an alternate board member, and whereas Ms. Sarah Kay, a resident of the town, is willing to serve as alternate board member, therefore be resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board does hereby appoint Ms. Kay to the planning board for a term to expire 12/31 of 2027. Be it further resolved that Ms. Kay take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the planning and community department head, and a certified copy also be given to Ms. Kay.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, Isabella, any discussion? Seeing none.
Well, I do note that it's a little bit longer than 3 years, but that's okay.
With clarification for you, Tom.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 189, publish a request for proposals, an RFP intended for professional website development and marketing services for special project.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh recently published the Developer's Guide in 2023, and whereas the town is actively marketing itself as an ideal location to site commercial, residential, and industrial development, and whereas the town has been awarded a grant to expand upon this effort by digitizing our Developer's Guide and creating a digital platform for developers to learn about the town of Plattsburgh, opportunities for development, local incentives, and our approval and permitting processes. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh is seeking proposals from qualified New York State web development and marketing firms to provide professional services to the town of Plattsburgh, and whereas respondents should be familiar with the scope of services outlined in the town of Plattsburgh's request for proposals for such services. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh will rank the responses received on evaluation and certification that the firm provides services to municipal clients, technical skills, experience, and reference information. The town of Plattsburgh reserves the right to reject any or all proposals and to conduct interviews at its sole discretion. Responses may be submitted electronically in PDF form to the Planning and Community Development Department, email stated here, and the town clerk, email stated here, with the subject title Professional Web Development and Marketing Services, and received by 12 p.m. September 4th, 2024. Additional information regarding this request for proposals may be obtained by contacting the Town of Plattsburgh Planning and Community Development Department at 518-562-6850 during business hours, Monday through Friday. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the supervisor to solicit and receive proposals for professional web development and marketing services, and that the town clerk shall post notice on the town clerk's bulletin board and post on the town's website. It is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town and planning community development and the town clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costa, Isabella. I just want to provide some clarity and thanks. Where the grant is coming from is through our relationship that actually, for history, for a brief moment, after the state of the town, members of the Board of Realtors approached me looking to find opportunities to create a relationship for some smart growth plans and other things. Really interested in the town center, the fact that we're working on these housing initiatives, and we have since secured multiple grants and multiple opportunities and multiple partnerships, like the Housing Symposium, et cetera, and this guide. So this is one of their highest level grants, and this is taking it and creating really kind of a fully digitalized version and putting it in a domain, because as we know, print collateral is important, but having e-collateral is equally important in this digital age. And I will tell you just a quick one-off story. We had somebody from Rochester contact me last week interested in the former UNOs, because they came across the guide on our website through one of the postings that we did in some other ways, because we're already making some cross-pollinations, but he even admitted that he probably would have come across it a little bit quicker if, and I told him about what we were hoping to do. He goes, this is fantastic. So just very anecdotal, but just want to kind of share that with you. So, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Resolution passes. Resolution 190, contract with AES Northeast for engineering and design of BMG Phase 2A, 2B.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh has a current and active 2-year term contract with AES Northeast PLLC located at 10 to 12 City Hall Place, Plattsburgh, New York 12901. And whereas in 2023, the Town of Plattsburgh completed Phase 1 of the Battlefield Memorial Gateway, the BMG Public Waterfront Project. And whereas the town has requested a quote and scope of services for design phases of 2A and 2B of the BMG. And whereas AES Northeast PLLC has provided a letter of authorization, which includes the scope of services and anticipated design cost of $127,300. And whereas the total anticipated construction cost for phases 2A and 2B is $2,859,000. And whereas the town board intends to utilize the design and bid package to seek funding for the construction of said project from the Northern Border Regional Commission. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with AES Northeast to develop and engineer, the engineered design and bid documents for BMG phases 2A and 2B, and is detailed in the work authorization letter dated August 8th of 2024. It is further resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the planning and community development departments to proceed with the preparation and submittal of a grant application to the NBRC for construction of the project, and does further authorize the supervisor to execute the associated grant documents and forms.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hubert, is there a second?
Second?
Isabella. Again, just providing a little context. This is one of those ones that's been bumping along through the system. We previously applied for an NBRC grant before, competitive, but needing to move a little bit forward. This is one of those steps that we're moving forward. It's working in a parallel motion with our fundraising application process, our private funding, and also an award that will be coming out soon from the state. So there's, again, just hitting all those hallmarks of what we did. And I don't know if folks had an opportunity, the Press Republican actually noted a really nice editorial on the Purple Heart ceremony that we had.
Yeah.
So again, this isn't, the BMG project is doing what we're hoping to do, so this is just one more step in that. Any questions or anything? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert.
Yes.
Charles Costick.
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution carries, thank you. At this time, I have no more resolutions before us, but I would consider a motion to go into an executive session regarding the specific work history of 3 individuals with no formal action to follow. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Great. Was that Wood, second? Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert.
Yes.
Charles Costick.
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will enter executive session 6:30.
6:25.
Mine's fast, 6:25, with no formal action to follow.